Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News. Champions has officially begun. So much to dive into today. A recap of yesterday's very entertaining matches, drama on the timeline, but also another team seemingly affected by the issues that are going to force them to play in the quarantine facilities behind the scenes. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. Please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. We have been killing it as of late. Honestly, Champs is going to be fantastic. Firstly, this from G2. Coldamenta, we believed for a while, Coldamenta and Keylux probably going to be out of there. Coldamenta officially departs from the roster. They're going to make changes, bringing in some of those Giants Gaming guys, apparently. Also, this from Anbox, we saw yesterday the rumor that Alexander was going to be replaced by Gratis Faction. That seems to be coming closer to reality now. Kind of a surprise to a lot of people that Alexander would be out of there. Like, seemed to be one of their better players. But yeah, they're going to make a move. Gratis Faction, it seems, is going to be the one to move into their squad, as George reported yesterday that we did indeed look at. But well, rostermania is certainly not the main topic of the day because, well, we had a lot of drama regarding champions. This also I wanted to share for you guys real quick because Jake Lucky pointed this out on the timeline that, well, ShahZaM in the press conference discussing his issues really, or some of his problems with, well, the champions as it presently stands. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, when the $1 million prize pool was announced. I thought for a, tournament of this caliber, that might be relatively low. At the same time, though, there is, of course, the Valorant champs, the split that's coming through from the champions skins coming into effect. I'm sure the players are going to do all right at the end of the day. This was a clip that came out of ShahZaM, like he goes on to it, kind of explain on Reddit how like it was a tough time for me, strict conditions on top, as maybe more unhappy than I should be. They brought us to a place with rapidly rising cases. I don't want to catch it and be stuck here for the holidays. It's stressful. I know Reddit likes to dissect everything I say, but I regret making that comment. Not everyone has full context as to why we were disappointed. Everyone says I constantly whine, but we're one of the only teams that have been to every event. I'm not sure this tournament would have had proper desks in the practice rooms if we didn't say anything last time. I appreciate Riot for that. Unfortunately, other teams that may feel the same way about certain things might not have the same reach to make a difference. Interesting stuff. I'll share the clip for you guys real quick.
I think the being in the same spot as Masters 3 is kind of like not made it feel as hyped as I feel like it should be coming into Champions. And obviously I'm biased because Iceland was a really good time for us. But I think that when we've gotten here after the quarantine and actually doing like, the recordings for the production and stuff, it's given us a lot more hype just to see what the broadcast is going to look like. But I'd say that we're pretty disappointed in like the prize pool and stuff.
Thank you.
So let's recap day one of Champions then. Game one was Vision Strikers versus Full Sent over in that Group D. And this was a dominant victory. I was really impressed with Vision Strikers here. They looked very solid. Of course, expected to come through and win this series. But the fashion in which they did it was frankly dominant. And they're looking really good. They are taking this tournament super seriously, and understandably so. But they crushed it, frankly. Haven was 13-5. Wasn't even close, frankly. The first half was, obviously not close at all. 9-3 at the end of the day. Stax was an absolute beast with the breach here. He was making some crazy plays, and I think he's certainly looking to show that if I get to play breach up against his next opposition, the rest of this group in the rest of the tournaments, he's definitely looking to make a play. King was good. RB had some great moments here as well, and they win this honestly without too much of a fight, frankly. And then Breeze also goes 13-5. So this was frankly a dominant performance. Buzz was a monster in the game too, and Stax doesn't even have to do anything in this game too. So this was frankly dominant. Full Sense go down 2-0. They definitely didn't perform up to their caliber that they can do, but at the same time, Vision Strikers were just so damn good. It's going to be tough to stop them. But the team that's going to try and stop them is also pretty good. We'll have a look at here in just a couple of seconds. Also wanted to mention this real quick because the viewership for this game one, of course, with the co-streaming and all this type of stuff going on as well, between, I guess, YouTube and Twitch and then all the other broadcasts going on, it had almost 700,000 viewers, just shy of the grand final between Envy and Gambit back in Berlin at Stage 3 Masters. I think there was a similar story really at the Counter-Strike Major where right at the start of the tournament, it was almost breaking viewership records from previous events, but that was only in the very first rounds. And we've kind of seen a similar thing right here. So potentially this game is going to take things to an absolute next level, right, when it gets further and further on in this tournament. So exciting stuff, especially because it's so broad regionally, really, between Valorant, between all the different regions. It's it's just exciting to see how this one will develop going forwards. This then was game two, Vikings up against Crazy Raccoon. I think a lot of people had some faith here that Crazy Raccoon could get the job done. It was a close one. Early on, it really felt like Vikings were just going to walk away with this. Game one, they won the first first 5 rounds in a row here on Icebox, and then Crazy Raccoons actually brought it back to a very respectable tied half. But then second half, Vikings ran away with it in the end. Stacey had a massive, 29-16 here on this game 1, and didn't really work out for Crazy Raccoon, and then Haven it was 13-8, so pretty back and forth affair, but again, a massive streak of rounds here for Vikings in the early part of this second half gets the job done for them, so they move on. Of course, job not done for either of these squads to make it through, but this is definitely the probably most doable group out of all of them for some of these rosters. The fact that Gambit is over here as well, and you've just got to think, Gambit played Team Secret today, Vikings and Crazy Raccoon also in there, Vikings in prime position to try and make it out of the group, but of course it's not going to be so easy. They could well find themselves in that lower final again, having to do a similar thing again if they lose to Gambit, if of course Gambit go on to beat Team Secret. This then from Valorant Esports, because well, the bromance continues between Boaster and Vanity ahead of the matchup Fnatic versus Cloud9, the first kind of European versus North American battle that we've got so far here at Champs, and this was a cracking series, a very entertaining one indeed. It went down to the wire, and well, we'll have to see here who comes out on top. Firstly, it goes all the way to the map 3, so map 1 and 2 they were back and forth, then it goes to Fracture for game 3, the first time we've seen Fracture at this kind of level, and it was exciting. I'm pretty sure in terms of playtime, Fnatic had way more playtime on this than Cloud9 did, so they should have come in here as favourites. Boaster knifes Vanity in the back early on. This is like when the game was 6-1 or something, I'm pretty sure, after this knife. So, Boaster getting his revenge. Vanity stabbed us in the back, just like he stabbed us in the back, right? Zelsis says from the version 1 side. And Boaster definitely trying to, get his revenge in some degree. Like, Vanity hugged Boaster in the back in this image, and then Boaster goes on to knife him in the back later in the game. But anyway, the game continues, and honestly, Fnatic, I'm pretty sure they were up to, 12-7 or like something like along those lines. They should have closed this out much sooner. They choke it effectively. Like, they come back all the way, Cloud9, to go, 12-12, kind of Boston Major reminiscent in a way. Goes to 12-12, and now you're thinking, wow, Fnatic are going to choke this away on Fracture here, and it's just going to be an absolute disaster. And then they actually come out and clutch up again. So somehow they clutched, somehow they choked, and still won the map. And the final round that Cloud9 lost was just one you don't particularly want to be losing. But look, they're still alive in the tournament. They go down in the end, and they win this one in overtime. Turko was a monster here, to be honest. 74 and 54 over the course of it. Icebox, as you can see, started off the way of Fnatic 13-11. Then Split goes the other way, 13-11. So, look, it's the pick of Cloud9 Blue. This is the pick of Fnatic. So they both win their picks in very close fought affairs. Turko was a monster on this one. And then Fracture in the end, he was a monster again. 14-12 goes to overtime. Incredibly close series. Very competitive indeed. And Turko had some fighting words to say, actually. He did an interview after the fact. And he went on to say, okay, they're playing Vision Strikers. Like, we're basically just going to take it to them, right? These guys can't match what I'm going to bring to the party. So we'll see if those words actually continue onwards. This also was, this got a lot of traction, right? This I thought was hilarious from Fnatic, frankly. They take down 2 North American teams in one single show, beating Cloud9, and then coming on to, bring this out of the hat and, win this TSM play, which I thought was just fantastic, to be honest. So, yeah, the trash talk is definitely not going away anytime soon from this one. But again, will these guys get out of the group? That remains to be seen. This then, another team that's going to play, I'm not sure today, but tomorrow, is Envy. Now, Envy, we looked at yesterday, right? Team Liquid, they're going to play from their quarantine facilities just because Nevera tested positive, and therefore, like, he has to play in an isolated facility. The same thing is going to happen here with Team Envy. I believe that Victor, we'll have a look at him in a second. This is what initially was posted last night, saying that, in mandatory testing, during mandatory testing, a member of Team Envy produced a positive result for the test. Therefore, in accordance with policy, they'll be playing behind closed doors, really, in the isolated room, and then the rest of the guys will play in the kind of quarantine facilities on, I imagine, the last matchup of the day. That's what it's going to be like today with the Team Liquid game, and definitely disappointing for all involved, frankly, but still good that they actually have this option, right? They've managed this well, it seems, to actually allow this to still be a possibility. As Victor says here from Envy, I tested positive on 2 different PCR tests yesterday. Super sad the LAN experience is ruined for my team and our opponents. I'm heartbroken, sorry, but often really not too much you can do about these situations. Liquid are hoping that, after the group play, let's say, then he can actually come back and play on the stage again, Nevera, because I imagine Victor feels pretty fine, and so does Nevera, it seems, not really being affected by too many symptoms. Therefore, it's probably not a massively big deal. I'm not really sure why they would have to, ruin the LAN experience for the entire tourney. Surely, if he gets better and tests negative soon, then, he can actually play on LAN with any luck, in the actual proper arena. Of course, that does put things in a bit of a difficult spot. That's the thing. If Envy go on to make the grand finals of this tournament, you don't want it to be played behind closed doors, right, at the end of the day. You want it to be played on the actual stage. So I'm sure they have some sort of protocol in place for that one. And just Crashy's, he's pretty heartbroken about the situation. They don't get to play on the stage for the actual major tournament, at least for the group play of it. We'll have to see how things go. But yeah, still pretty big deal. Whether Envy and Liquid can kind of overcome these hurdles and the other squads as well that they're playing up against, then, I suppose that does remain to be seen. This then is at least the bracket right now. So Group C is pretty much getting there. We've got Vikings versus Raccoon. Group D was the major one from yesterday with Vision Strikers versus Fnatic, the first kind of winners round 2 matchup that has been confirmed so far. They'll play that in a couple of days to determine who goes through, but then we've still got to go through the other groups first of all. So the other groups start beginning the action today. Team Secret versus Gambit esports first of all in that group C. We expect Gambit to make it out of this with not too much of an issue, and then we get group B. So Furia plays Sentinels, that's going to be a big one, and then the final game of the day, Crew Esports versus Team Liquid, we believe behind closed doors, and yeah, just some cracking matchups, all things considered. But very much intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit in the like button, tells the YouTube gods this is a good video, and I was like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you very much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.